Hey everyone, it's Jason. Today I'm going to go over the component list of Charmed and Dangerous, a Princess Adventure game, a Sisters Grimm base set. I did another quick video that sort of briefly explains the game. I didn't go in super detail on every little thing. I just wanted to give you the base idea of what the game was. So if you're interested, check that out. I'm not going to go through every little instance in here. But we're going to go through the different cards. And you can actually see what's in the game. So, first off, we're going to go through the princesses. We'll zoom in a bit. So, starting off, they all have little twists. We have Briar Rosa, the Green Necromancer. The set I got is from the Kickstarter, so it has foil versions of the cards. Your set might not have foil versions. You can see she has her two different facets here. What's nice is you can flip them over so you can read their ability and see this without having to worry about the foil distracting. She gets to play curses on herself. You can get extra cards and abilities. We have Snow White, the Exalted Archer. She has one of her facets are up here and on this side. And she's a poison arrow. She can discard charming to discard foes. And Fariskin Lang, start of your turn. She's one faster than other players. Remember that fast is now one greater than the other princess number. So you can basically boost her other team. Dorothy Gale, the Weather Witch. She's also got two. She's got an Over the Rainbow ability. As it's one ability, it's just a little bit longer ability. And then finally we got Gretel, the Candy Barbarian. And she's got Sugar. Basically lets her attack again. And then the two villains we have for the game. You can fight the Candy Witch. This is the downside of the foil because half of her front card does have text. It gets a little tricky to read in the right light. She's got her regular ability and then her Master Stroke ability. So the Master Stroke card pops up. And then she's got her hidden side. So if a player has 7 or more cards in their hand, she reveals herself. So this is a good reason if you don't want to have to worry about fighting her. Do that. I guess you can't fight her, so rather you want to save cards to get up there. The Fairy Prince, Queen of Hell. One reason you might not want to is their special abilities, so you don't maybe want to get these characters out before you're ready to fight them, otherwise then you have to deal with their extra ability. So first thing we're going to do is just go through the layer decks. So this one is for the Gingerbread Cottage. Lost in the Woods, when a Master Stroke or layer fortification is revealed, gather all face down foe cards and shuffle them and return them to the grid. Upside of that is, if you're like, okay, I know that guy's that, I know that guy's that, you can choose that to fight them. And then this will mess that all up for you. So we're going to have I'm just going to zoom out just a little. Goblin Scout. It looks like this is the easier of the two decks, and they probably made that so you're not always struggling. So you got Goblin Scout, got a couple of those. An Angry Enkin. You cannot challenge Angry Enkin unless you have at least 6 cards in your hand. The Arachno Beast. A Sea Hag. Fright Wisps. And these guys have a little bit higher powers. But there's only one per deck, so coming across them might not happen too often. A Psychic Constrictor. Now this one does have two different ones. Now you have to have green and blue to be able to fight it. So there's that. The Big Bag Wolf gains X blue, where X is the number of cards in your hand at the start of your turn. Like some little toy soldiers. Have to defeat them before. There's a bunch of those. The Dark Trents. The Gingerbread Man. You defeat Gingerbread Man in a challenge with less than 7. Return to the foe deck and then shuffle it. So basically you can kill him for 2 really easily, but you don't get to keep him unless you have 7. Malicious Brownies. Which are like evil fairies, not, more cookies. The Wicked Sisters. When Wicked Sisters are revealed, all players must combine their hands, shuffle, and redeal them evenly. Starting with yourself, any extra cards are discarded. So that could ruin your plans. But she does have 3 facets. So if that came up, since there's 3 different ones, you get to choose which one you want. So that's actually kind of a neat thing. So you get the Vermin Chemist here. So if you do beat them, you get to pick which one. You don't get to use all 3 of them. This actually is all 4. So that's kind of neat. Then at least you get some more options. Or what you need. Maybe you already have a bunch of blue. You don't want more blue. Maybe you can't use blue. Another thing I didn't mention though in the original game, or in the playthrough, was that if you can't use one of these, you can always set them off to the side if you beat a guy. Then if you gain the ability to later, you can equip them. So it's not like I have to just keep avoiding certain characters to fight because I can't equip them. Here's a Wolf Pack. You must discard 2 Charming cards or 4 cards to run away. Mammoth Bat. A couple of those. A Plague Fungus. And then now we're going to get into the cards that are all the same. Here we have Layer Fortification cards, and there are 4 of these. Trigger any layer Fortification effects now, then place this card under the layer. So the Layer Fortification ability is this ability that's on the layer card. And then you have the 4 Master Strokes. Trigger any Master Stroke effect now, then place this card under the Villainous. That's another way they can win, I believe, if they have, I think it's 7 of the 8 Master Strokes and Fortifications revealed, then they win. So that's why you can't just like, oh, I'll just play until until the deck is empty. Because you get out too many, they win. So it's also cool is in the decks they also have some item cards. So you might come up against an item rather than an enemy. So if you get this, it just goes to your hand instead of having to fight it. This is so you can equip this to your character and gain that facet. So then if you equip the bow, now your character can use the red ones. Here's a White Stag. And the Green War Sprite. And a 4-leaf clover. So there's 1 for each side. Alright, so that was that deck. Let's look at the other villain deck. The foe deck. Here we have the Shadow Keep. Whenever the forces of evil, the foe deck, bolster their numbers, and all empty spaces in the foe deck are refilled. So normally I'd just be filling 1, lets you refill all of them. Totem Ogre. So the other one is more like the fantasy characters. This is gonna have some, I think, more like Egyptian-y, Mexican type characters, kind of fixing more like the Briar Rose, who is a yeah, like Mexican themed necromancer. Wall of Thorns, the Feathered Serpent. And I'm not reading all the text on all these cards. If you want to pause it and read through them all, by all means go ahead. A Chimera, a Blood Priest, Vampire Dawn, who has a ton of effect. I should leave that for a sec. El Guki, I probably pronounced that wrong. There's some Shambles. Gains +1 for every face-up foe in the deck. Or in the grid, sorry. So a guy you don't want to let sit around for too long. And there's a bunch of those. And then we have Ancestral Spirits. When you defeat it, search the deck for another one and place it face up in the grid. So basically, you just keep replacing themselves until they run out. There's 4 of them. A Murderachi. Molten Sugar Skull. The Eternal Watcher. Just a torture chamber. The Spinning Wheel. All princesses are cursed with sleep. Ladama. A Corpse Dragon. And now we just have the Lair Fortification cards. Now, although they have the picture, it's not like specifying the Shadow Keep. So that's why I said you could mix and match these between different decks if you eventually wanted to try that. I don't know how well that works. Here's a match card, and then the items. This one has Rainbow Phoenix. And this one comes with 4 of those. But it has 2. So you have options. And the Obsidian Blade. So like the first deck had 2 cards of each with each side. This only has 4 of the same cards, but each one has different things. Alright. So then we just have the dangerous deck, but we're going to look through. So there's the couple of cards here. There's Sleep. These are the curses, and they're double-sided. You cannot remove this curse the next turn. You still draw your dangerous cards at the start of your turn, but you can take no action. The Villainous Glare still triggers on your turn. So you basically you can't do anything. Poison. Cannot remove this curse the next turn. Discard 1 card. You do not draw any cards. At the start of your next turn, discard another card. So you don't want that sitting around too long. And Caged. You cannot remove this curse the next turn. While Caged, you may not participate in any challenges. At the start of next turn, draw 3 dangerous cards instead of 2. So I don't know if the expansion is going to add some more curses or not. There are 38 Charming cards. All the same. So that compiles almost half of the dangerous deck. So he's going to say Charmed and Dangerous on the back versus the Fortification or the layer decks all having the symbols on the back. Just so you don't get them mixed up. Alright, now we're going to get to the cards with all the princesses on them. Alright, so we have Fair Trade. There's a couple of those. So we have Forces of Nature. So here's Cinderella, who's a cleric. So she is in the expansion. Kind of a little preview. Questions later. Controversial card, possibly. I mean, I like it. True Lover's Kiss. It's Snow White and Dorothy. Fairy Godmother. Wishing Star. The Willow Bends. Pocket Pixie. Enchanting Song. Cut Them Down. These are all just like little one-time bonuses. Shooting Star. Sudden Storm. Testament. Stroke of Midnight. On the Hunt. Furry Favor. The Heroic Fool. Another use for your charming cards. There's a couple of these. Now, I did mention I got this game through Kickstarter. None of these cards, except for the foil versions, possibly they might release that, like a special edition like that too, but none of these are Kickstarter exclusive cards. I have all the Kickstarter stuff coming later on. They sent it in two separate orders. Sanctuary is the last one. Alright. So that was Charmed and Dangerous, a Princess Adventure game. I hope between the two videos, this one and the how to play it, gets you interested in the game. It should be available soon. Like I said, I got a Kickstarter, so I probably got it earlier. And then January is when the expansion comes out, which might be when the game comes out. I'm not for sure. But yeah, check you guys later. Bye.